Kabir Adamu is a Sahel security analyst and the managing director of Beacon Security, a risk management company focusing on Nigeria and the Sahel region, and joins us now from Abuja. Mr. Adamu, good to have you with us on the programme. The US said that it would leave the country and just wanted time for an exit plan, which was granted. But sort of why the sudden mood swing in sort of the public domain that the US should go and go now?
Thank you. So the timing of this call for protest is also coincided with the arrival of Russian technical team to train the Nigerian military. So it appears that Niger, the junta in Niger, is focused on building a stronger relationship with Russia. And to do that, perhaps it has to get the US troops out of Niger. And over time, since July, when this junta took over power, they've relied on some sort of populism to build consensus around the fact that this is an anti-Western junta. And so every time they want to get any Western country out, you see them fanning these embers of protest within Niger.
Wave of anti-imperialism across the region, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. We've seen the departure of the French as well in parts of the region, and the arrival of the Russians. How much of an impact do you think the Russians and their strategy is going to be when it comes to the problems of the Sahel, dealing with groups linked to Al-Qaeda or even ISIL?
Well, I mean, the best example of that is to look at Mali and Burkina Faso, where Russia already has an active presence. And unfortunately, the indicators do not show any progress, especially in dealing with extremist groups and the other violent conflict situations in that region. If anything, we've seen an expansion of the security situation in both Mali and Burkina Faso. Niger is also facing the same challenge. So if Russia continues with the same strategy, which is to deploy an element of the Wagner group and in certain instances support the militaries of those countries, then unfortunately the Sahel will continue along this trajectory of deploration of security situation within the region.
To a certain extent, there's always a honeymoon period, isn't there, when a military coup happens? The public are quite behind the sentiment of anti-imperialism when it sort of raises its head. How long do you think this is going to last? Because not everybody's happy about the Americans leaving, but they are a minority at the moment.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, the Niger situation is quite, unique. The junta is yet to release a transition plan, almost 9 months into the coup. Now, the likelihood is that the more the Russian military becomes ingrained within Niger, the less likely that transition plan is going to be released. And it's also very likely that the civic space will continue to be restricted. And so a lot of civil society organizations in Niger would start protesting that, lack of ability to operate and continue what they're doing. And I think that is when the resentment will start. A few weeks back, the economic circumstances in Niger was dire. But of course, with the opening of the borders, ECOWAS borders, that is being relaxed at the moment. But I think specifically the civic space would be the determinant going forward.
It's good to get your analysis, Kabir Adamu. Thanks so much for joining us from Abuja in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.